Thank you guys so much for inviting us, and this is a really well-organized event, and I'm so impressed with all the energy that's been put into this. What I'm going to talk today is about voice and marketing, surprise, surprise, and I'm going to present sort of two things. I'm going to present a case study on a project that we worked on called Match of the Day, but I'm also going to show a lot of checklists and practical ways to build a marketing plan. And I think my presentation will be very tactical into the details, and there'll be examples and that kind of thing. So I work for Voxly Digital. We're an agency. We build Alexa skills and Google Actions. We've got Razi Meredith and Christina Kanaki, who've also joined in the background. So give them a high five and ask them questions in the breakout sessions. Now, one way that we like to contribute to this community is we love stats and we love reporting. So we've spent a lot of time this year writing reports. We looked at how COVID has impacted Alexa usage. We've looked at how families use Alexa. We've published a lot of stats. So guys, this resource is for you, the community. Download this stuff, use our stats, rip off the infographics. If this can help you in your job, we'll be really, really happy with that. And that'll be a great result for us, and that'll make us feel really, really good. So loads of information there. Just download whatever you need. Cool. So what we're going to talk about today is a skill that we built called BBC Match of the Day, and how we marketed that, basically. So what is BBC Match of the Day? Well, if you're in the UK, you know exactly what it is. It's a very iconic football/soccer brand. It's iconic. It's been around for decades, and they have a magazine that targets kids between 6 and 12 years old. So that was the client, and we had to kind of turn that into a little bit of voice magic, basically. So what did we build? I'll go through this really quickly. We built a voice game. It has different difficulty levels. You score points and get on a leaderboard. We built this cool little kind of news flash weekly update. So every time you open this skill after a week, you get new content, not just the quiz questions, and it just adds a little bit of fun, and it just adds a little bit of fun to the overall experience, basically. Sorry, yeah. Sorry, Tim, I can't hide the screen share for some reason. My cursor's disappeared. We used APL. We built it for Google Assistant. We built a leaderboard execution to just show kind of where people have placed on the game. And basically, yeah, that's it. So a really iconic brand. It was a big challenge for us, and we really, really wanted to make sure that we really marketed and gave this thing the right kind of love. So let's just think a little bit about what's happened this year and what impact it could have on the kind of traffic that you guys are going to get. Now, the good news is, as everybody knows, lockdown has really encouraged a lot of people, because they have a lot of spare time, to play around with their voice assistant, to discover new use cases, to discover new apps, to really talk to friends about it and kind of, what should we do? How does it work? How does it work? So we've seen a lot of traffic on all the skills that we host, and I know that a lot of you developers have probably seen all that also. But super, super, super important. You still need, guys, a strong marketing plan to drive usage and engagement. So people will hear about your voice project through printed material, through digital material, from a radio ad. They'll ask the smart speaker for, give me a football game, that kind of thing. So don't skip marketing. I think, as Kane was saying earlier, marketing needs to come up in the first meeting with the client, or when you build your own personal project. Don't just think about the user need and the product experience. Think about, how are you going to get 1,000 people to try the skill? How are you going to get 1,000 people to come back to the skill? And those are going to be some of the harder problems in building your audience. So lots and lots of stuff to get right. So when you build a media plan for your voice experience, here's a slide you guys are happy to rip off. There are different marketing channels, or different ways to reach people and to talk and to tell your message. So I'm going to go through this. I know this is a really boring kind of PowerPoint looking slide at the end of the day, but I kind of want to get some detailed information across and show you how Match of the Day did it. So the first thing when you launch any digital service is to look at your own channels. So an owned channel basically is the stuff that you've already got out there. A website, printed materials, blogs, influencers, social media, YouTube, magazines, CRM, podcast, internal comms, email signatures. You'd be surprised at the number of brands who have built a voice skill, invested 6 or 12 months in it, and forget to do the basics. And it's really kind of heartbreaking. So if you're working with clients, show them this list. If you're an independent developer, and I know some people in the meetup are tonight, build out all these different social channels, get the basics in place, and you will have set the foundation for a really, really kind of solid marketing plan. Examples, we want to see examples. So here's match of the day. Facebook on the left, Instagram on the right, Instagram stories. These are really, really good examples of leveraging existing audiences, setting up quick links, pointing people to existing properties, and this doesn't cost anything, guys. Your clients already have all these channels. It's just a matter of doing the hard tactical work of lighting it all up at the right time. Homepage takeover, why not? So Match of the Day did a homepage takeover on their website when they launched the voice skill. So there it is, front and center, the influencer there, Paz and Catch, and lots of organic traffic is kind of there for the taking, basically. Match of the Day also have a print magazine. That's actually their main kind of execution. I apologize for this blurry picture. It kind of it's been expanded and contracted too many times. But a 2-page magazine ad on an Alexa skill targeting 6 to 12-year-olds. It all kind of matches up. A strong invocation name, Alexa Open Match of the Day magazine. And I've never seen a 9-step guide on how to use an Alexa skill, but there it is. And so every 2 weeks, they have a 2-page, a 1-page, a half-page magazine ad, and that's where their audience connects, and that generates a lot of traffic, and we always kind of see spikes every time the magazine goes on sale. Influencers. I know this feels boring at 8 o'clock at night, and I know this feels really basic, but not every brand is doing it. Donovan, he's about 12 years old, the kid on the left. He did kind of a review video that was a lot of fun. Jack Rolls in the center, he's a professional player. We shipped him an Echo Show, and he did a video. And then Catch, one of the voices in the skill, also did something fun. So video content, gotta have it, it's gotta be out there, it's gotta be professional. YouTube, super good channel, everybody knows what YouTube is. Please promote your voice skill on some of these really, really obvious channels like YouTube. It's free traffic for the taking. Good, so you've gone ahead and you've set up all of your kind of social channels, and you're doing a good job with the creative, and it all looks great. What's another thing you can do? You can also work with Amazon to get the word out about your new project. Now, guys, I don't work for Amazon. They don't pay me a commission. Everything on this slide is subject to change kind of every 2 weeks. But this is just some of the kind of learnings that we've had over the last few years and some of the ways that we've interacted with Amazon. So if anybody from Amazon's on the meetup, please don't kill me. So the first thing you can do is you can do basically paid advertising on Amazon for your Alexa skill. You can advertise on Amazon Music. You can get little ad placements. You can buy impressions. Why not try that? You know, there's not a lot of people doing Alexa advertising on Alexa for some reason. So it's kind of a really cool kind of channel that could have a really big impact. And then the Alexa skill team can also do loads and loads of stuff to kind of promote a skill. They have a newsletter, the App Store. They have social media channels where they'll tweet things out sometimes. In terms of skill store SEO, this is a really important topic. Skill store SEO basically means when somebody is looking for a football quiz, you want your property to come up into the top 1 or the top 3 or the top 5. And there's lots and lots of sort of tactical stuff we can talk about in the breakout session around skill name and skill description, keywords, synonyms, kind of free organic traffic, which is around the can fulfill intent and name free invocation. None of that stuff's rock solid, but everybody who's ever worked on SEO knows you got to kind of work this week in and week out. And this is a really kind of important thing to think about. Screen recommendations for the Echo Show. Alexa will recommend things sometimes. If you ask her for a certain type of program, you can also get certain phrases programmed to open up your skills. So look, guys, there's lots and lots of opportunities with Amazon. I recommend if the brand is big enough and you have a good relationship with them, they can do a lot to kind of activate your skill. And finally, if you're going to market anything on digital, whether it's an Android app, or an iOS app, or an Alexa skill, or a Google action, ratings and reviews are really, really, really important. So you need a plan in place to drive ratings. You need a plan in place to drive honest reviews. If your skill is successful enough, there's this feature called voice reviews. So when the user exits the skill, Alexa in her native voice will say, could you now rate this skill on a rating from 1 to 5? And if you're lucky enough to get that, you can get hundreds and thousands, and people on the meetup from the game companies will know that they've gotten thousands of or tens of thousands of reviews this way. And the reason that ratings and reviews are so important is that that increases your SEO, and it boosts you, and people find you more easily, and Amazon is more willing to partner with you. So ratings and reviews, it's a digital basic, but it's something not to forget about. Finally, there's paid media. So paid media basically means you buy an advertisement and somebody hears an impression about what you're talking about. So you can now, as we were talking about in the breakout session a little bit earlier on, and this is a slide we stole from Global/DAX. So John, if you're on the meetup here, thank you for this. So it's now possible to buy effectively radio ad space to promote an Alexa skill. You know that you're spending money on people who are listening on a smart speaker, so you're not wasting any spend. The radio ad can then say, if you want to interact with the game, ask Alexa for X. You leave the radio stream and you go into that experience. And this is something really exciting. This kind of audio advertising is going to be something that we see a lot more and we hear a lot more about in 2021. Back in the winter of 2019, which is 12 months ago now, 1 in 5 streaming audio sessions was to a smart speaker. So it's going to be a lot higher this year. And this is a now legitimate advertising channel. So something in digital marketing and growth hacking is always look for new channels that your competitors aren't using. Here's one that's kind of wide open, guys, and we're spending money on. Also, when you do display ads, you can set up these things called quick links, which basically assist the user in discovering the skill or the Google action. So setting up those landing pages, setting up those UTM codes. This is all the tactical stuff that goes into promoting a skill, but it's all really, really important. So how did Match of the Day do? We got 900 ratings on the skill store, so we're really proud of that. It's kind of primarily a UK skill, so we feel like that's good. 4.7 out of 5. In terms of actual numbers of these campaigns, users per day, average session time, retention rate, all of that stuff is kind of under NDA, but maybe you guys can connect with me on LinkedIn, and I can share a few more insights on that. And yeah, so just bringing it all together, really think about marketing when you get started. If you kick a project off without kind of the marketing plan is kind of one of the key points, it's going to come too late and it's not going to be marketed correctly. The second thing is, unfortunately, there's no such thing as free traffic. So you really need to do something every week, every month, every quarter, and your marketing plan needs to be always on. And finally, leverage free stuff, guys. If the client you're working with has influencers, if you're working with somebody like a Joe Wicks or whatever, use the influencer and get them to do stuff for free. That'll be sometimes way more effective than paid stuff. And finally, just keep things simple and make sure that your marketing plan is really not too sophisticated, but more constant and steady stream. And I promise you, you will see the traffic. So that's it. We got lots of checklists, lots of things to download, lots of guides, and lots of different ways to market Alexa skills and Google Actions. Please connect with me in the breakout room, and we can kind of talk about it a little bit more. And yeah, I think it's back to you, Tim.